All these secret interviews and pretty much all these interviews that Nick Caserio, has done, they're all head scratchers. So the question is what do you think in Nick Caserio? And, it's really nobody knows. We are just basing our opinions of what this man is doing. And it looks like he is casting his net out as far and out as he can, and is interviewing multiple people for the potentialness of being the head coach of the Houston Texans. You have to also think as coordinators, DC potential, all that stuff going on. Nick Caserio, I think, is doing a good job. We've interviewed Brian Flores, Joe Lombardi. We also interviewed Hines Ward, Steelers Hall of Fame wide receiver. We just talked to the DC from the Eagles today. We're talking to Josh McCown. So Nick Caserio is doing what he said he was going to do in the first place, which is I am going to be very thorough. Don't assume anything. And this is very exciting, right? Because last year it was Eric Bieniemy, Brian Dabo, Matt Eberflus, and we didn't even interview any of them. Now this year, what Nick Caserio is doing is going out, and if he thinks you could be a head coach, he's putting that interview out there. Now the question is this all for show? Because at the end of the day, I still believe it's Brian Flores. I think that after Wild Card Weekend, and if we could talk about that for a little bit, a lot of candidates really came out and showed themselves, to be viable candidates. And then you had some other guys who you might have had to pump the brakes on. You look at Gerard Mayo, who a lot of people at the beginning, before the Patriots game, were thinking about, hey, what if this guy can become a head coach? Earlier, in Nick Caserio's press conference, he said that he wants to find the next Mike Tomlin. And then, of course, everyone, put that tie together with Gerard Mayo. Can he be a head coach? Goes out and gets dismantled by Josh Allen and that Brian Dabo system. Shout out to Brian Dabo. He is going to get obvious, interviews this offseason, to be a head coach. If you want to look at someone who's made his name, who put his name out there by performing great, DeMeco Ryan, former Texans linebackers coach, a DC man. The 49ers had a great defensive game. As good as that game was against the Cowboys and the ref, just bumping into them, still no excuses. The Cowboys, Dak Prescott, Kellen Moore, you guys absolutely sold. Fuck the Cowboys, man. It's always a good day when the Cowboys lose. But in that game, the defense definitely showed up. And DeMeco Ryans did some things that said, hey, man, this guy has shown enough. He's been with Kyle Shanahan, for multiple seasons. The defense is playing good. Maybe he is someone who we could take a look at. He has ties to Houston. He was the rookie defensive of the year for the Houston Texans. So the ties are there for DeMeco Ryans. The question is, will he want to come to the Houston Texans? I know there was a situation where he sued them for the turf. Not too sure on that. Hopefully someone could correct me. But there's a lot of more options than what we thought Nick Caserio was going to have. Because honestly, I thought it was either going to be Brian Flores. I still think it's going to be Brian Flores, right? I think that was the end all be all. That was what I said a couple days ago. You fired David Culley to go all in for Brian Flores. But now after watching these playoff games and after watching, just seeing what Nick Caserio was doing, man, I have no doubt that this guy might pull out, and get the next head coach for the Houston Texans. He said himself, when they talked about pressure, he's like, the only pressure I have is the pressure that you guys apply on me. That's pretty big. What is Nick Caserio going to do? That's a question that we all have. Let me know what you guys think. As always, go Texans. You guys have a blessed day.